Ouais, ça va? Si je vous montre, tu peux te faire de l'émission.
Non, c'est gentil. Ton inspiration.
C'est bon. Ça va?
Ouais. Vous sentez que la crème a fait un peu effet quand même?
C'est fini.
Non. Ok. Ça va être rapide, hein. Là, il y a la place, il y a juste à le mettre, pas pousser.
C'est fini.
Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I just want to do another quick lesson on the mark of the beast, because as you can clearly see, the clip that I featured, it shows you, what the mark of the beast is and what exactly, where exactly it's going to go, man, because it's being made more and more clear what exactly it is, man, because you still have other Israelite groups that aren't teaching, the correct breakdown of what the mark of the beast is, which is the RFID microchip, So I'm just going to bring out a couple of scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And I'm going to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 36 and verse 6. And it says, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And right, man, this broken reed, meaning Egypt, is talking about America, man, because this system, is failing, and is, going to collapse very soon. The United States dollar is going to crash very soon, and what's going to be, the alternative or the new form of currency, it's going to be a digital currency. But how are you going to be able to use that digital currency, by way of that RFID microchip, man, that is going to be implanted into your hand or in your hand, man. It's like it into your hand or your head. That's where it's going to go. And you're clearly seeing that people are already on board with receiving the mark of the beast. People already have it. Right now it's just a thing where you can voluntarily get it. Once this system crashes, that is going to be made mandatory. You're going to have that device in order to live and sustain yourself in the next society to come, So I'm going to get the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 15. And it says, And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And right, you're going to have a remnant of the nation of Israel, man, the elect, that are going to resist this man's mark, and those that don't receive the mark of the beast, he's going to seek to take them out, and that preferred method is going to be, by way of beheading, those that don't get it. Some of the elect will be beheaded, but that's their testimony, they'll die an honorable death, because some of the elect will be martyrs, man. But again, it's an honorable death, because they kept their faith unto the end, but all of the elect won't die, Verse 16, It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And right, man, unless you have that device, you know, in the next world to come, you won't be able to live, man. You won't be able to use the dollar anymore because it's going to be worthless, you know. It still has some, you know, spending power, you know, while this current system is still up and running. But overall, you clearly see these other countries that are, you know, backing out of the U.S. or backing away from the U.S. dollar. You know, they're not using it anymore. You know, this is why the BRICS are, you know, coming up with their own currency, but which, you know, they're on board, you know, with this digital system as well, man. You know, all of these countries are on board with it, you know, in these different nations. So just understand that this is a very serious thing, man. You know, that the mark of the beast is indeed the RFID microchip, man. You clearly seen the video of the guy getting it implanted into his head, man. You know, it doesn't get any plainer than that. If you can't see it, then you're blinded or you sold out. You know, that's the only logical conclusions to come to for someone to not be able to understand what the mark of the beast is, you know. So I'm going to get the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 2. And it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which had worshipped his image. So right, man, those that receive the mark of the beast, those that get this device implanted into them, they're going to get that grievous sore, which is what? Cancer, you know, because that device is going to be emitting radiation, because it's going to be operating off of that person's body heat. You know, that's how it's going to be powered, you know. But again, that's how you're going to know who has the mark of the beast or not, because these people are going to have that grievous sore, you know, upon their hands or their heads, man, you know. And then ultimately, you know, the penalty for receiving the mark of the beast is going to be, you know, death, you know, the lake of fire, which is America being destroyed by missiles. You know, those that receive the mark of the beast, that's going to be their judgment, man. You know, they're going to be burned. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.